Hey, YouTube, Johnny Lawrence here. Hey, today we're going to cover a pretty unique concept. I'll tell you what, follow me to the conference room. Let's go. All right, guys, here, just come on in here real fast. Everybody have a seat. And I've already got it set up. We're going to talk about a really unique deal here. All right, very good. You guys can have a seat. Okay, shut the door, please. Okay, this is what I want to tell you. I'm going to give you an example, and then we're going to talk about just for a quick second. When I was in high school, I went to high school, Central Catholic High School in Toledo, Ohio, and we were a huge fundraising school. And one of the fundraisers we did was called the Penny Drive, and it was the whole goal was to, get as much money as you could for the poor. So what we did is we made it competitive, and what we did is we did pennies were positive points, and then silver was negative. So nickels were -5, dimes were -10, quarters were -25. And dollars would have been -100. So for instance, if you had 50 pennies in your freshman jar and came in and threw 2 quarters in other words 50 cents worth of silver, it would knock out those points and put you at 0 points, okay? So it started, the school was very competitive in general, and this drive started to become very, very competitive. So let me ask you guys a question. If I gave you $20 to spend on the penny drive for the poor, and you had the ability, and you were a freshman, okay? So we're all in the freshman class. We want the freshmen to win against everybody else. How would you disperse the money between the freshmen, the sophomore, the juniors, and seniors? We'll go with Sharon. How would you do it?
Evenly across the board.
So you would take the $20 and give the freshman class $5,
right?
Giving us 500 points,
Mm-hmm.
and then you would give each 500 in pennies, right?
Pennies.
Obviously, right? We don't want to give ourselves negative.
Right.
Okay, and then we would actually do silver or dollars here, giving these guys all -500, yes?
Correct.
Okay. Now that's actually not a bad concept, because if we go up 500 here, okay, if we go up 500 here, right, like this, and they go down 500, there's actually 1,000 gap right there, isn't there?
Right.
Okay, so that's not a bad idea. And actually, you guys, to be honest with you, that's the most common answer that I get when I ask this question. But let me tell you something. It took a little bit of thought and processing, but this is what I came up with, and it worked brilliantly. Watch this. What we did is, we had kids who had dollars, quarters, nickels, and all kinds of silver. And I told them, do not put any of your silver in here. Instead, take all your silver to the bank, cash it into pennies, and only put pennies in our jar, okay? So now let's take that $20 example again. If we took that $20 and cashed it into pennies, we'd be up 2,000 points. That 2,000 points uniformly, okay, hurts the sophomores, the juniors, and the seniors at the same time, all right? Okay? Rather than try to put sporadic money in different jars, it's better to only focus on yourself, okay? And that way you can end up winning. Now, from that comes the concept, okay, is this. A better me equals a better us. Because the same thing that's true with the penny drive was true about life. I found that with my own guys, owning a sales organization like I do, that anytime I try to get my guys to do anything, I can't necessarily get them to do it, okay? But when I work on myself, my guys go right into line. I'm sure you guys have heard this, the phrase, the fish stinks from the head down, right? Okay? That's this in applicable terms. A better me equals a better us. If you want the people around you to change, start changing yourself. Okay, there's 2 types of followers in the world. I'm sorry, 2 types of people that are under a leader. Number 1 is a follower. Those people are believing in the concepts, they're buying the concepts of their leader, they trust their leader, and whether the leader's around or not around, those people are doing what they're supposed to. They are followers. The second type of person that a leader can have is a subordinate. Now these are the people that look like the followers, they'll do what they're supposed to, they'll act like they're supposed to, okay, but when the leader's not around, they don't necessarily do exactly what the leader says because they haven't bought into the situation. They're more or less staying in line because they have to, because they're scared to get out of line, things like this, where a follower is doing what the leader wants them to do because they believe in it, okay? And as a leader, you want to try to get as many followers as you can, okay, as opposed to subordinates. Because a man forced against his will is still of the same mind, okay. So the best way to do that, in my opinion, is to work on yourself. A better me equals a better us. Work on yourself, make yourself better, be the example, be somebody that somebody wants to be like, okay? Inspiration goes way further than discipline or punishment. To beat somebody down, make them submissive, make them do what you say because you're the boss or this or that, that's never going to work. Because as soon as you're out of the reach of the fear level for them, they stop acting like they're supposed to, okay? Because they still feel the same way. If you wanted to eternally change people and make them feel a certain way, you have to inspire them. You have to make them want to be like you, okay, and then fall into place. So that's the lesson.